Greetings YouTube, and happy Halloween. Yep, how convenient that my upload schedule happens to line up with the spooky day itself. So, yeah, what I was going to review today. Here it is. Today we're reviewing Earthrise Snapdragon. Considering there aren't a whole lot of spooky things that are Transformer related, save for Terracons or about one thing that showed up in season 3 of Transformers Prime was, the thing that Breakdown was turned into. I don't know. Anyways, so Snapdragon here turns into an SR-71 Blackbird. Fun fact, this is also the same thing that movie Jetfire turned into. Why do I know this? Anyways. So, Snapdragon was one of those figures released in the 80s as a part of Hasbro's experimental phase, along with such things as the Duocons or the Micromaster bases for all intents and purposes. Anybody remember those? Or I don't know. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, Snapdragon was one of the headmasters, in which he had a little dude, which he does come with. And this is his little dude. His name is Crunk. And he turns into Snapdragon's head, and he's very small. He has molded a bit differently from your standard Titan Master. Because he has these weird triangles on his arms and these little teeth on his legs that'll come into purpose in his other alternate mode. Yeah, I mean, Crunk can still turn into a head, just like any other Titan Master would, and yeah. His legs are very stiff, I will say that. That might be a good thing or something. This guy stand up well. He stands up pretty well. This guy? Nope. Huh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Titan Masters. Yay! I'm gonna need to scoot my camera back a little bit. Titan Masters, yay! But, yeah, let's get this guy out of here. So, yeah, Titan Master articulation. You got ball joint at the head, which can actually go back really far. Okay, whatever, dude. Limited forward movement in the arms, limited outward movement. Legs can go forward that far, can't go back that far. As well as double jointed knees. You ever heard of double jointed knees? I didn't think so. Or, I don't know. But he has double jointed knees, and of course that's mainly so he can turn himself into a head. We'll get into his headness later. You can just gonna drop him back in there. Doesn't really have to be in his robot mode, but you can just keep him in head mode for simplicity's sake. Come on. Unfortunately, these cockpit things are like super stiff. Yay. But yeah, as you can see, he turns into a white, blue, or is that a teal? I think that might be teal. And purple. Oh yeah, and hints of black. He turns into multiple different colors, but he turns into a jet that you would expect to come out of the 80s. In that case, an odd color choice. I mean, there have been weirder color choices. Like, look at Airwave, for crying out loud. I recently got him. He's next. I don't know why, all the Decepticons I collect are, super obscure ones from the 80s and either Starscream or the frickin' movie Bonecrusher. Anyways. So, yeah, Snapdragon is also a triple changer, which means this is not his only mode. This review is not going to be a short one, I'll tell you that one. I'll tell you that. Airwaves is probably going to be shorter. So just getting in close here. As you can see, he does use a lot of translucent plastic. Of course, only one of these sections opens. This does not open. This does not open. You can clearly see that there's some stuff in there. This can actually yeah, that can actually extend. So that's interesting. He does have a landing gear. Actually, I don't think this extending feature has to do anything with the jet itself, unless one of you people who knows so much about planes would feel free to educate me in the comments, if you people actually used them. But other than that, I think it's just a little bit of transformation. He's got a landing gear, which does allow him to stand up. However, if you don't want him on the ground, you can just go ahead and whoosh him around. Just whoosh him all the way around. Why don't you? We also got the whole rear section of the jet. We got the engines. This will later become his arms, if it wasn't already made apparent by his hands. Yeah. And of course the undersides. It's kind of what you would expect out of someone who literally turns into a flying vehicle. You know, without the aid of parts forming. I'm not saying parts forming is a bad thing, but I'm kind of neutral on it. Yeah. So, there you go. There's the jet mode. He does come with 2 accessories, but of course, me being me, I forgot to bring them over here, so if you'll hold please just for a few quick seconds. There we go. We got ourselves 2 purple blasters, and those will just plug themselves right under, on the underside of the wings, just like so. And, of course, they are blast effect compatible. So go ahead, jam a couple blast effects on there. Make it look interesting. Just pew pew. Unfortunately, his engines aren't blast effect compatible, which kind of sucks. But then again, these are like the biggest blast effects I have for blast effecting. Blast effecting. That's a word now. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's move on to our good old friend known as the size comparisons. So here we have Power of the Prime's Battle Slash. I almost said Battletrap. I'm not making that mistake again. And here we have Earthrise Ironworks. There's no way that they can connect. I just happen to have him on the review table. Review table, that's what this place is called now. Yeah. Who knows, maybe we'll review both Ironworks and Airwave next week. And they're basically just both parts formers. Speak of the devil himself, here is... Hey. Here is Airwave. And, of course, this is inaccurate because it's way too big. This happens to be one of the few Transformers that turns into an aircraft carrier and actually manages to... Yeah, this is the only one that I have that turns into an aircraft carrier and looks good. I do have Titan's Return Broadside, but, anyways, so, yeah, that is the jet mode. If you'll hold, please, I will just cut the video off here, and just so we can readjust, and then we will move on with the transformation into his dragon mode. Yes, you heard me right. We're not going into robot mode right away. We're going into dragon mode. Okay, so, now that we're back, let's get on with this funny little thing called the transformation that all Transformers do. So, remove the guns, and then open up the cockpit section and just pull Krunk out. We'll just put him off to the side. We will need him in a bit, though. So, close that up. Come to the arms, fold in the tail fins, untab the engines, rotate them down to become legs. Yep. Hey, camera, stay. I didn't tell you could move. One might think it's maybe possessed. I mean, hey, it is Halloween. What do I know? So, all the same stuff on the other side. Oh, and you also want to flip down his little feetsies. Just go ahead and do that. And there you go. There you go. And heck, if you wanted to, you could actually just go ahead and turn the legs around for a Gerwalk mode. Because, I don't know why. I don't know why. I also want to fold away his landing gear. So, anyway, just switch the legs back around. Stop with my stupidity for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and untab the whole back section, undercarriage of the jet, and then you want to bring his T-Rex dragon. I think he's a T-Rex. Yeah, you know what? He's a T-Rex. He's a T-Rex. You can't stop me. And you want to tab this into place to select to become the chest in robot mode. Bring the legs up. Bring up the whole midsection of the jet, and just kind of go ahead and come on, dude, you're on camera. Stop embarrassing me in front of the camera. Okay, there we go. So now we got that. Then you want to go ahead and open up the chest and rotate the dragon head out. Close up the chest, and then bring up the upper jaw. And I would say we're done, but in case you haven't noticed, he's kind of missing the whole lower half of his face. So we're gonna take Crunk here, unfold the legs, bring the arms up, and there we go. Technically, you are supposed to bring the legs down in order to shove him in there, but yeah, this is actually in reference to what the Headmasters did for Snapdragon and his buddy Apeface. Not only do these guys form their partners' robot mode heads, but they also form their partners' beast mode heads. Of course, obviously, now that we have modern engineering and the fact that these guys are too small, they kind of only really form like half their face. So, his head is just going to go in this little notch right here. Just kind of got to shove it in here. It's probably going to... There we go. Just do that. Bring the jaw down, just so it looks natural. Bring the head down. It is stiff, I will say that. And there you go. And I usually just display them like this. Oh, and as for storage of the guns, you can just go ahead and put them right here. And there you go. So, yeah, we got ourselves a beast mode. And usually the history of beast modes in Transformers is, unless you're a third-party company, the beast mode usually isn't the best mode. I mean, yeah, it ain't usually the best mode. Like, it's almost like the priority is meant to be the robot mode. Interesting. Anyways, so yeah, as you can see, basically all that happened during the transformation was he flipped over and took the form of a T-Rex. Yeah, so a couple different display options. You could just have him normally like this, or you could extend the cockpit, which is technically now his tail, and bring that up. Considering that the robot mode feet are right here, they actually included these little triangle things to allow the tail to move up. And you could position the legs to make it look like he's dragging his tail around with him. Yeah, so taking a quick look at his head here, it of course is composed of actual Snapdragon piece and Crunk. You can now, yeah, those little triangle parts on his arms, if we zoom in here, have actually filled in his eyes. So that's cool. And of course, the legs, considering they had teeth on them, they form the lower jaw. Moving on down, you can see a lot of mechanical detail, not painted, of course. You got the arms, which of course also have mechanical detail, and I think that might be a blast effect port. Let me check. What do you know? You could have fire shooting out of his arms. Moving down to the legs, as you can see, they are formed out of the engines of the jet, and obviously his robot mode arms. Obviously. And of course, and I guess the wings kind of make like little heel spurs for him. You know, if you have him standing up like this. Although to be honest, wouldn't his tail kind of be like a counterweight? I don't know. Of course, the whole main body of the jet forms, or the whole front section of the jet basically forms his honestly ridiculously sized tail. And yeah, the back, you can clearly see that is a robot mode chest, but seeing as Grimlock's got away with his robot mode chest as basically his dino mode crotch, I think I can let this one slide. Also, this is where you store the guns in this mode. They just go back there. And of course, they're still blast effect compatible. Unfortunately, the jaw isn't, but hey, that's why unfortunately, the headmaster kind of prohibits, blast effects coming out of his jaw, but who needs that? You can just use the guns on his back and have him eat other Titan Masters. Because hey, why not? So, yeah, there you go. I got that. So, unlike the previous mode, this mode's actually posable. So, the head doesn't really have a whole lot of posability, other than some ways of displaying the jaw. You could have it like this if you wanted to, you weirdo. Or, naturally, how I do it. It also kind of looks like he has he's wearing lipstick, because that's pink, that's pink. Okay, well, it's not that bright of a shade of pink, but it's getting close. That can move up on this super stiff joint. Down, not that far. The arms can move forward and backward. Got bicep swivel. Would that technically be double jointed if the arm can't move straight down? No, it's not double jointed. Rotation at the leg. He can do this. He can kind of do the splits. It kind of looks better in his bot mode if you think about it. His dino mode kind of gets in the way. Technically a knee swivel, double jointed knees once again. I think this is mainly. I think they mainly just put this in so that way you could have the dino mode leg bend, and the robot mode arm bend. It's pretty cool. The toes, technically, all they can do is they can just transform themselves back into their calves. No kind of hang on, I stand corrected. If you kind of untab him, you kind of get a little bit of tail wiggle waggle. Tail wiggle waggle. Let's go ahead and lock everything back together. The tail, of course, can extend and move up. And I think, yeah, technically can get to do a little bit of wiggly waggly. Wiggly waggly, I feel like someone said that before. But yeah. Oh, and of course the cannons, they can rotate to wherever you need to fire them. So, there you got that. Yeah, I kind of got nothing to compare him with in this mode. I mean, here's Ironworks and Airwave. Oh. and Airwave. My tongue stopped working there for a minute. So, yeah, there you go. You can just have him Godzillaing. You can just have him towering over a couple of Micromaster bases. Just put some vehicle. Hi, my name is Iron. I'm gonna go ahead and drop everything today. You can just go ahead and put some cars on there if you wanted to. Oh, I also get Battle Flash in there. Because why not? Because why not? What am I doing with my life? Other than this. So, yeah, there you go. There you got that. We're going to pause here so I can... Oh, wait, hang on. One more thing. Something I promised to do in my previous Earthrise Optimus review. Can Snapdragon's T-Rex mode fit itself into the trailer? The answer is probably going to be no, but because I do funny things. Nope. That is definitely a no. Okay, so, pause here, readjust the camera, possibly transform everything for the bot mode size comparisons. Fun! Alright, so the transformation from this mode to the bot mode is basically just folding away all the beast parts, rearranging the robot parts to look like a robot. You know, basically how most transformers go. Get rid of some truck parts, fold out the robot bits. Yay! Because honestly, how else did you expect a transformation to work? So, remove the guns, lift up the head, bring down his jaw, yank it out. I really hope this doesn't break over time, but seeing as I've owned this for like a week now, almost bordering on 2 weeks, he'll be fine. Fold him up into the shape of a head, and we'll deal with him later. Thank goodness this did not fall down here. Otherwise I would have lost it. Both is literally this, and probably... Never mind. So, fold the jaw down, open up his belly, fold in his head, close that panel back up. Go ahead and untab everything here. Bring the crotch section down. Tab the tail into place. It just doesn't have flopping around during the transformation. Bring the chest up. Fold in the arms. And just kind of lock everything into place. Bring what will become Snapdragon's backplate up. Untab these little shoulder bits. They will just go up. Might be good. Same thing on the other side. They will just go ahead and slot themselves into here, just like so. Fold in the claws and rotate around the biceps. Do the same thing on the other side. Separate the legs and just kind of straighten them out. Spin them around. Bring up the tail section and fold it into the back of his leg. Flip at the toe. And all of the exact same stuff on... Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. And flip out the toe. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Clearly I forgot to readjust the camera as his shoulders are kind of clipping through my camera. And then just take the head and put it into the standard connector joint. And of course, because cross compatibility between lines, you could put like bronze hood on here. If you're one of those people. That honestly kind of clashes with the overall style. I mean, if you notice the green and yellow on the back of his head. So, we're just going to leave it with that. And there we go. I'm going to grab something to readjust the camera, because I did not expect this. Yay! Alright, we're back. I readjusted the camera, because... of course I had to. So, yeah, here we have Snapdragon in his bot mode, and it's pretty good. I mean, sure, he's kind of got some stuff hanging off his arms, but to be honest, who cares? I mean, it's kind of required for his get mode. But anyways, yeah, so, gonna look at his head here. It looks interesting. That's one thing I'll say. He has a red visor and a purple mouse plate. Yes, purple mouse plate. Crazy, right? The arms are, of course, made up from the fuselage. Made up from the engines of the jet. And you can clearly see the tail fins just hanging off of his arms. Because why not? And the torso is basically just, you know, a purple stripe running down basically a black torso. And, of course, the legs are made up from the front of the jet. So, it's pretty cool. Articulation. Oh, in the back. Yeah, it's a little hollow, but honestly, what are you really going to do? Unless a filler kit gets released for this. So, articulation. We have a ball joint at the head created from Krunk's neck joint. Rotation at the shoulder. You do have to kind of move it out if you want to do the full 360. Outward movement, that's a little better than the T-Rex mode. Once again, double jointed elbows due to kind of how he, due to his beast mode. Bicep swivel. Nothing at the wrist. He does have waist swivel, which is, you don't really see on a lot of Titan's Return or Titan's Return style Voyager class figures. Heck, not even his buddy had waist swivel. Legs can't kick forward that far and back that far, so splits. He can do the splits. But of course, he can also do the side splits. Because why not? Gets universal hips. They sure do work pretty well. Thigh swivel. The sides are hollow. I don't really care. His knees do kind of bend forward, but that's more or less for his transformation into either of his modes. 90 degrees is bend at the knee. Up at the ankle, no down really. And, of course, like I mentioned, there's this joint that's more or less meant for his dragon mode posability. And a pivot. So, he's kind of posable. I mean, usually I just kind of have him... Usually, and if I had more Decepticons, I would just kind of have him displayed in the background, just shooting his guns, and he's already leaning over. Yeah, so... Let's go ahead and put the guns in his hands, and they are still blast effect compatible. And also, apparently his nipples are blast effect compatible. What do you know? This is, of course, mainly so the guns can store on his back in dragon mode, but, we can also have a nipple flamethrower. Because why not? Why not? It's the War for Cybertron trilogy. Logistics was thrown out of the window years ago. Yeah, I think logistics was thrown out the minute we had Transformers that had smaller robots turn to their heads. Like, that's frickin' bonkers. So for size comparisons, here we have Earthrise Optimus, who of course is obviously taller because again, leader priced and engineered Voyager class figure, actual Voyager class figure. So there you go. There we got that. Here's Earthrise Airwave, another Wave 2 Decepticon that I happen to have. I think the only other Decepticon released in this wave was like a Double Dealer. I may or may not get him. Probably not. I don't know. So there you go. That's Airwave. And here's Ironworks, who is actually taller than Airwave. Although Airwave is a little bit wider. So you got that. And here we got Battle Flash. Oh, and while we're at it, here's Road Trap and Pants mode. And fill your hole, please. There you have Battletrap. So yeah, that's size comparisons. So overall, I really think this is actually a good figure. I mean, yeah, he's got some hollow parts, but what are we really gonna expect? Well, this has been Iron Thanos 21. Just saying, have a happy Halloween and stay safe. Peace out.